What's going on, y'all? So, in this video, I'm just gonna give you guys a small tutorial on all the websites slash apps that you guys need. That's like it's very essential for when it comes to day trading futures. So, with that, we're gonna start off on what TradingView is. So, TradingView is just a normal website slash app that we need for us day traders. It is gonna be one of our main websites that we're going to be using for our chart analysis and etc. So with that, this is what it's going to look like as the main page when you open up. Over on the side, we have a watch list. This is what my watch list looks like, including others, but this is what we are focused on. So keep in mind, up here we have minis and micros. So with that, minis is NQ1 exclamation point as the ticker name, and then the little image on the side is going to be 100. Same thing over here. It says on my left too for the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Um, this is what it looks like. This is what we're going to be looking up in the search bar that I'll show you guys real quick. And then moving on down here, we have, let me just bookmark these out. We have our micros. So it's basically the same thing. Um, NASDAQ is still the same thing right here. All the charts all look the same. It's just that the contract sizing is different. Um, right here, we have micro E-mini NASDAQ 100 index futures. So right here on the left is what we'll be searching up exactly. But with that, we're gonna just start off with E-mini NASDAQ. Something also to keep in mind is that when you're searching these up, you want to make sure on the side it will have CME. Let me go back. Right here, if you see on the far right, we have futures, CME. CME is our live data that we get. Um, make sure that is showing. So moving on, this is what you guys' charts will look like for those that you that want to know. Um, my chart colors. Where is it? This is what I have for my candles, and I'll gatekeep my background color. But whatever color you guys want, these are the candles that I have. Um, wait, let me double check what I just. But yeah, this is what you guys will be seeing. So if we look on the bottom left, don't worry about any of these at all. Right up here though is what you'll be focusing on. So some of the traders might have a 3 minute or 30 minutes available, but I don't trade using these time frames. Um, so this is what you're gonna have saved. You're gonna have the 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and 1 minute starred. When you have these starred out, these will be available on the sides, so then you can just quickly scan through. Or if you guys want a shortcut, you guys can go on your keyboard and just type in 15 and then enter. And if you look on the top left, we are on a 15-minute time frame. But something to also keep in mind is, let's say I want to go on the 1 minute. So instead of going on one, you would have to type in just one, and it gives you the 1 minute. If you type in your M for what you would think 1 minute, it's just going to be 1 month. So make sure that you double check everything. You don't. It'll be pretty obvious to know whether what time frame you're actually on. Because let's say I wanted to go on to 1 month time frame, and I happen to click on 1 minute, I'm gonna be like, why do the charts look like this? Like it shouldn't be that hard figuring out, but you just want to make sure that you're on the right time frame with everything. So that's something to keep in mind. Right up here, we have our indicators, something that can help you with just your analysis checking. That's basically all what indicators are. It's just a small tool to help you with your analysis. Um, Over on the bottom, we have a paper trade account. Um, this is where you guys will be doing demo accounts, um, trading on a live market, but with a fake account. So how you guys would do that is you guys would go over to your paper trade. I'm just gonna log out of this real quick. You guys would first originally, open the chart, go down here where it says trading panel. Trading panel, this is where you can connect your other brokers. This is what I also use, Trade-O-Vate. I heard AMP is also a really good one. This is for Forex traders, but like I said, we're not worried about Forex. We only worry about futures. So this is also how you can connect your funded accounts as well. But with that, we're going to be focusing on paper trading and how to make an account. So you go over to paper trading, you would click connect, and I think it will give you like an option on like how much money do you want in the account. Just go ahead and reset. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, well, it looks like I forgot on how to create it. Like switch up the account. Could have sworn it was like able to give me like an option on how much I want the accounts to be, whether that be 50K, 100K, $100 or something. Bro, I actually need to figure this out now. So right here is now where you would be able to fix this. 50,000. This is what I use. 10. I guess we could just do like, I don't know, you're 20 on this, and then reset. So right here is where you have account history, and orders, and positions. Don't worry about trading journal. None of that is a help. The only thing you're just going to be focused on with your paper trading is your P&L and your account balance. So I'm trying to think what else. So right here, over on the top, we have replay mode. This is where you'll be able to go back at a certain time. Right here is the speed on the candles formation. So if I were to click play on 3x, notice how it's a little bit quicker. I go back to 0.3x. Notice how it takes a very slow time for these candles to form. But here's the thing about trading via replay mode. So one, you could use this as backtesting, yeah, for sure, but you need to upgrade your plan to be able to go more in depth with lower time frames and further back in the past on whatever time you want to be trading. I'll be able to share you guys on what website or a platform that I use to backtest everything. So with this, you can go to select date, random bar. This is what you guys would probably be focusing on, is selecting a specific time on where you want price to end up coming into, on what time. Moving on. Well, from that, you guys can see this is your contracts and your sell and buy button. This is your short button. This is your long button. But with that, we're going to be moving on now. over right here, this is where you guys would have your layouts. So everything that you see right here is all going to be in one layout. Highly recommend you guys have your own layouts so you don't lose anything. Right up here is going to be very important. You go on to right here, so then this is where we would start viewing ES and NASDAQ at the same time. So to do that, obviously you first click the layout setup with the dual screen. With this, how this works is one, these are my settings. I would have these settings on when it comes to sharing these charts. You can double click this entire bar to like reset your charts. Usually it still ends up in an area that I don't like, so I kind of zoom out a little bit more. So this is generally what I like to see. These are the settings that you would need. So something to keep in mind. So if I'm doing any analytics on this, it's going to be focused on this side of the chart because I clicked on it. If you notice, like right here, the outline is gray. The outline is gray on this one, and it's not gray on this one. Same thing, outline is gray on this one, not bolded out on this one. That's how you know that we're just focused on this side of the chart. But wherever you click is where you're now focused on. You see what I mean? But to change everything, we have NQ over here and micro NQ over here. We want to get rid of minis and stay onto micros. This is just a trader's preference on what they want or which charts they want to see. So moving on, you guys want to make sure that you guys have adjust for contract changes right here. Very important button right here. Very important button right here. All these are very important. And then on your side, these are also important as well, but only a few. Right here, I have my specific starred out ones, so it gives me my entire little template thing that I have over here. The ones that you have started out will be available over here. Just a little skim on what I used. Obviously, I have to have the magnet and the hammer as my recent used. If you know, you know. I'm trying to think what else should you guys understand. I'm pretty sure when it comes to settings, you guys would need specific settings. That is pretty important. Most of this is preference, but I'm trying to think what is something that you guys can change. So like right here for time hours format, you could do 12, 24 hours. I do 12 hours. The watermark is this background where it tells me what I'm trading. This is very important, especially if you trade with dual charts. There's this one other that is pretty important. This one is also very important. Adjust for contract changes. This right here. So regular trading hours is just the normal 9:30 to 4 p.m. the New York Stock Exchange open and close. I'm pretty sure, but we want electronic trading hours where it shows us Asia's markets and London. that is what we will be using for our analysis check as well. So keep this on electronic trading hours, and I will have the opacity at the low because it gives you like some kind of weird thing that pops up on your charts, just like some kind of highlight basically. Make sure your time zone is in New York or whatever time zone that you're in. Very important. I'd say this symbol, this entire area, majority of it is very important. Um, but yeah, I think that's it really. Trying to think what else before I move on to another website that you guys will be needing. I think that's all, honestly. So now when you open the charts, it'll pop up this exact same thing. You have your little template on your tools that you need for your analysis. Um, there's an automatic save, an auto save switch. I would keep this on. Very important right here. So you don't lose any analysis, anything gets deleted. If you happen to delete something, there's a replay or undo scroll. Um, but yeah, keep autosave on. I sometimes even double check by clicking the saved option that's right here. So like if I were to do any type of small change, the save button automatically pops up. But because I have autosave, it should autosave before I even close out of this entire website. If it doesn't, all you gotta do is just click cancel because it will give you like a little small image above saying that if you leave now, all unsaved changes will be yada yada. So just make sure you keep on clicking the save just in case for analysis checks. We're going to be moving on. Okay, so one of our main website that we're going to be using to keep up on economic news is going to be called Forex Factory. So with this, it gives me just everything that I need with the U.S. economy, everything that's going to happen within the market at specific times, what folders are coming out. So with that, you guys would be opening up something like this. Go over to calendar. Once you're on calendar, um, there's a filter button. These are the settings that you guys would need. Um, I think there's like a couple of them that we don't really need, but I keep them on. Like, for example, Empire State Manufacturing. I don't know which one that will be on. But yeah, anyways, since we only trade USD, we don't trade Forex. So if Forex, we would use JPY, JPP, Euro, China, whatever currency you guys are using. But like I said, futures, USD, that's it. We're only going to be focusing on red and orange folders. Everything else is irrelevant and not going to change the market overall. But this is then what your entire screen should look like. This is this week's economic news. So if I were to guys give you like a small breakdown, um, what would happen is probably for most traders they probably wouldn't even be seeing this, but for me I have it as an option. So Monday we had 8:30 a.m. news come out. It's an orange folder, and what is this folder titled? Something irrelevant. It didn't cause really anything dramatic with the markets, I think, at this time. Moving on to Tuesday, we have an 8:30 news. 8:30 news came out, and this is something to keep in mind. Um, red folder news, in my opinion, I don't recommend trading before because if you end up trading before red folder news, usually price action is just going to be very poor and even against you. Um, so just wait for after 8:30. And over here on the side is like a small live countdown on when they'll be releasing these folders. So if you guys want more details, you guys can click over to the small folder. It'll tell you the next release, the frequency, yada yada, usual effect, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Um, what else? What else? What else? Why traders care. It's the primary gauge of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of overall economic activity. So any red folder is actually very important. Every red folder is very important. So like for example, we have Wednesday 8:30 news. We have unemployment claims, very big, and this is like the mother of all red folder news is FOMC, and if you see anything with um, Powell, he's the guy that gives us a. I should know his exact title. It keeps on coming and going from what his exact title is, but if you just see the name Powell, just avoid trading, honestly, that entire day. Um, but FOMC, very important. So with this, if you guys are still listening to this video, I have down in my notes on economic calendar. So with news, something that's high impact will be non-farm payrolls. That is something to be aware of. So we also have consumer price index, which is also known as CPI, and then FOMC press conference. So if you guys happen to see that during a week or a month, specifically, we're just going to target on the week and the day. So let's say Wednesday, we notice we have FOMC. So what is my action plan going to be? Okay, so my action plan would be either avoid release or watch after the release. So you can either just don't trade at all on this day and expect poor price action, um, and then hopefully you don't end up seeing your edge available during times that you would be trading. But do not let FOMO trigger that at all. So during red folders, you can either avoid that entire day, depending on what time. Like we had 8:30 red folder news. Market opens at 9:30. We have macros at 9:50. Um, it's not gonna really change anything after. Only before price action before news would be poor. After it should correct itself with the volatility that we start having. So moving on to medium impact. Medium impact will be titled Producer Price Index. That's PPI. Um, we have Core PCE Price Index and FOMC Beating Minutes. I'm pretty sure both of those are all red folders. So then you gotta think now, what is your action plan going to be? So our action plan is going to be avoid session prior. We got avoid release and then watch after. Pretty self-explanatory. Moving on, we have low impact news, which is titled as all other. Everything that I didn't mention is just going to be kind of irrelevant, which will most likely be yellow, like I said, yellow, gray, and a few orange folders. But we're mostly just worried on red folders, like I said. No restrictions on all other folders. Very low impact on the market, safe to trade if it gives you good price action. So with that, I think that's everything that I wanted to show you guys for this website. Moving on to our last one. This is an account that is called FX Replay. This is something that you'll be using probably every day or every weekend to get an overall win rate of your edge, analysis on your edge. I gave you guys an example on what back testing was on TradingView. This is what we're mainly going to focus our back testing sessions on this specific website. This gives us a more in-depth information, lower time frames available, and we have analytics. We have our news right here. You're able to journal your trades, etc. You guys can look up a YouTube video on a full in-depth tutorial on these, but I'm just going to show you the small basics. So right here we have analytics, We have journals, so every trade that I took, um, they all have a description. They all should have a description on what I was expecting price to do. What else? We have a checklist, everything that you want to see with your entire trade. Um, I don't know why this doesn't work. Like for some reason, it doesn't give me any updates on this. But then this is going to be one of the main pages that you'll be using, and then this is going to be the entire home screen. So what you guys will do is you guys will click new session. You guys will put in the settings on what you guys want for the session info, balance, the spread, date range. The date range, this is the important part because this is going to be where you guys will be back testing. So as of right now, I'm back testing like 2 years ago in price action, and let me tell you something. With that price action back then, it was not the best, bro. Like some of the pairs were very like you couldn't even tell which one's lagging at that point. Like we see anyways though. But yeah, this is what you guys will be seeing. Only keep in mind you guys will be having access to all this only if you guys have a subscription. The free version of this is not the best at all. You guys would for sure 100% have to pay. I think it was like 25 or $35 a month to be able to backtest. So I'm pretty sure, since I gave you guys like a small rundown, obviously these charts are off of TradingView. So the one thing that you guys won't be able to use is some of the indicators on this website is kind of hot as if you do end up trading with indicators. Some don't, but um, you'll just kind of have to get used to trading with no indicators when it comes to back testing on this website. But yeah, same thing. Everything is all the same. If you're familiar with TradingView, you're going to be familiar on how the setup is going to be with Forex or FX replay. But I think that's everything I wanted to show you guys. I know this was quite of a long video, but very educational for sure. Um, yes, I'm pretty sure that's all. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.